Zazu nods. People, the church lies. They think they know the truth, but they don't. They don't even know Yahuah. They know Jesus, not the Most High.
Yeah, and that's a very good point too, and it kind of makes me think, honestly, just to bring it up too, Zazu, it does make me think of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. It talks about the anti-Messiah and the lawless one coming and everything. You're probably very familiar with that, and it even makes me think of Yahushua's words in 24:24 about false messiahs coming in the last days.
Zazu nods. Yes, the verses from Thessalonians and the Olivet Discourse, prophecies of the lawless one, of false messiahs, warnings of the end times and its lies. The church today has ignored them.
Exactly, and it's a very good point to bring up too. That especially the whole, we know how bad the church stuff is before Yahuah. To be completely honest, Zazu, and I know they're really not paying attention. Of course they just don't see who really is the anti-Messiah too. That's been prophesied throughout Scripture as well when we're talking about this stuff.
Zazu scoffs. People aren't paying attention. They're ignoring the warnings, and they don't see the coming false Messiah for what he really is. It's like people are blind.
Yeah, and I think they really are, to be completely honest here, Zazu. And just like I was just mentioned very briefly from Matthew 24:24 of Yahushua, him talking about, obviously, about false messiahs and false prophets coming. And we're obviously in those days right now before Yahuah when we think on these matters and that. So it's just like there's so many false messiahs right now too. And that just to say it, like, we have to be so careful right now in these last days.
Zazu agrees. Yes, there are so many false messiahs and prophets, people deceiving the masses, spreading lies in the name of Yahuah, all ignored by the church. And every day, more people are falling for those lies too.
Yeah, and especially, and I totally agree with you too, Zazu, and it just like, even the whole thing, I know us bringing up about the anti-Messiah, and obviously with the whole Christians and everything, they think the anti-Messiah is going to be this, and, and then a huge misconception too, when, in obviously 2 Thessalonians 2, when it talks about the anti-Messiah coming, within the temple of Yahuah. It's literally the body of the people, I guess. Not literally a building. And of course, we got the Christians, just to be completely honest here, Zazu, that literally think it's like a third temple and all this other stuff, physical building, but no.
Zazu shakes his head. The Christians are blind. Yes, the Antichrist isn't a physical temple, but the people, their bodies. Their bodies.
Yeah, and I just mean that the anti-Messiah is coming among the people, mainly. Not within a, obviously we're the temple of Yahuah, of course. And that's literally what 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 talks about, when the anti-Messiah makes an image in the temple of Yahuah and exposes himself as Yahuah. That's what we're literally seeing, to be completely honest here. It's not like a physical building, like I said.
How the people now are following the Antichrist instead of Yahuah. It's a hard pill to swallow for people whose lives depend on the church lies.
Yeah, I know, and exactly, and I can imagine those around me too. Well, if they do stumble upon this video today too, I feel like they're just going to be really upset, or let's just be completely honest, upset with Yahuah, because we're being messengers today and to talk and discuss these things and that. So, of course, people are gonna obviously they're getting upset with the truth in general, not just us, but the truth of Yahuah. Obviously, Scripture also says in Psalm 119, 142 that the Torah is truth of righteousness too. So it's not just them getting upset with us, but because of getting upset with other circumstances as well when we think on these things, Zazu?
Zazu sees the truth in your words. People won't like the video. And as we go after the church lies, people will probably be upset with Yahuah too. We have to expect all the pushback. We have to expect the anger from people who don't want to hear the truth, as they prefer the lies of the church.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you too. So like, what do you, obviously I know we're going to even go deeper too and everything, and I know some people might just think we're just being very like disrespectful too. And I know this is like a very heavy topic as well before Yahuah and Yahusha, but like, what do you want to say? Like, of course I know you can be very sharp with your own words too, Zazu, but just the whole idea of following JC for those watching. Yes.
Zazu pauses. This is an important point. He speaks carefully. The truth isn't disrespectful. The truth is truth. Yahuah is truth. The church teachings are lies. They've turned people away from the truth. It's not disrespectful to call that out. In fact, it's our duty as believers to share the real truth. We need to wake up people to the reality of what they've fallen into before it's too late.
Yep, and exactly. You have some really good points, and I 100% agree with you. We're definitely like we've discussed a lot throughout our videos too, Zazu, and that we're definitely in the end of days before Yahuah, where things are, let's gonna just say it, worse than the days of Noah, which personally I believe, and that Zazu before Yahuah and everything. Like we can see like how wicked this world's becoming, and all that stuff, and even the whole, obviously from Revelation 12, just paraphrasing how it says the devil has deceived the entire world.
Zazu nods. People are being deceived on a massive scale, and this world is definitely going in the wrong direction. We're running out of time, and we have a job to do to warn people before the end comes.
Yep, and exactly. And just like the previous video of the dire warnings we were seeing in the openings of the Xenogears, just mention that briefly again, guys, those watching. But obviously we know like the end is very near, and we can definitely see like Yahusha coming back soon, and that, and like we could definitely see Yahusha coming back and everything, like, and judgment just mainly coming.
Zazu nods. We've already covered the dire warnings in the opening of Xenogears. We've warned about the end coming fast. But even as Yahuah's judgment gets closer, the church's lies just keep people sleeping. Zazu shakes his head sadly. The reality of the situation is devastating.
I know. No. And it is very devastating when you start to think on these things and all that stuff. And especially those around us, for those watching who do follow Yahuah and Yahusha. Like, we're definitely in dire times, to be completely honest here. And that, like, we can, all of us who do follow Yahuah and everything, Zazu, like, we can just definitely see how dangerous these times are, too, when we think on these things.
Zazu nods. Yes, just the act of following Yahuah honestly is a danger today. People following him and not the church are seen as strange and even dangerous. In a world following lies, telling the truth is the most dangerous thing of all.
I know, and I can understand what you're definitely saying and see your points behind that too, Zazu. So I do want you to give your thoughts, just the whole idea of those to continue to hang on to JC, and what do you have to say regarding that matter? We want to be honest here too, to kind of wake people up too, of course, before Yahuah. So what do you have to say regarding that stuff?
Zazu is quick to respond, and his words are not meant to be gentle. Yahuah is his rock. He could never follow a false messiah. It's blasphemy. It's defying scripture itself. Christians have taken the truth and turned it upside down. They don't even know what they're doing or what or who they're worshipping. It's wrong. That's what I have to say. It's just wrong.
Yeah, wow. Wow. You definitely have some sharp words, to be honest, Zazu, and I know you've been pretty sharp at times too throughout the videos we've done together before Yahuah and everything, but it's definitely true. And I know we're probably going to really piss off some people today, as we both know, Zazu, but like we need to just come forward. I know we've been doing quite a bit of quite serious videos before Yahuah with the whole ministry thing, but I think just sometimes things just need to be said and just come forward and speak pretty much.
Zazu says nothing else. There's nothing more to say. People need to hear the truth, even if they're angry, even if they yell. We have to let the truth of Yahuah reach them. He nods to you.
Yeah, exactly. So, so what scriptures you think we probably should go through too? I know we want to kind of keep this video short too, since on the topic for today's video.
Zazu thinks perhaps we could focus on some of the verses of 2 Thessalonians 2. Maybe the ones we mentioned from the intro, and the one about people being given over to lies. Met with Pentecostal. That could work.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll definitely go there with 2 Thessalonians and everything. So you want to, I think, yeah, you want to go through some of the, I guess, verse 3 and 4 of 2 Thessalonians 2. I guess it makes sense to go to it and just read it quickly, since previously we were just talking about it.
Zazu agrees that makes sense, and we should repeat the verses in full.
Yeah, exactly. So verse 3 of chapter 2 of 2 Thessalonians says, "Let no one deceive you anyway, because the falling away is to come first. And the man of lawlessness is to be revealed, the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as Yahuah in the temple of Yahuah, showing himself as he is the Most High, of course." Yeah, so that is verse 3 and 4 of 2 Thessalonians 2.
Zazu nods solemnly. That's it exactly. It's Yahuah's warning about the Antichrist coming among the people soon. The church has completely misinterpreted these verses, replacing Yahuah with Jesus and replacing the church with a building. How misguided they are, and how far they've strayed. But that's not where the lies stop. Zazu sighs in agreement. There's so much to cover, but the basics are already enough, don't you think? Why bother going into the fine detail? People need to hear the truth and be shaken out of their delusion. They need to believe in Yahuah, not in the church's lies.
Yeah, I know. But sadly enough, as we all know, to be completely honest, a lot of times they're just not going to listen, since it's such a stronghold on them within the, religion and all that stuff, church, and the church stuff, and that.
Zazu agrees. Most people aren't going to listen. The lies have been pounded into them to the point that they take them as absolute fact, and they refuse to entertain any other ideas. But despite that, we have to try. We have to warn them before the end comes.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the only thing we can do, to be completely honest, before Yahuah, Zazu, all that stuff.
Zazu nods, and it's true. All we can do is tell the truth, and hope some people listen. We know how this video is going to be received. People will be offended, and they'll hate us. But if even a few people take heed to the warnings, then the video will have done its job.